What's up, you guys? James Strickland here. Welcome to week 49 on my road to 700 pounds on bench and week 7 in Boss of Bosses meet prep. So this week was kind of bittersweet and kind of exciting and a little bit dull at the same time. If you've been following along on the recaps, you know that last week I was at the Tribute, did my last recap in a hotel room up there in San Antonio. Was majorly up there for my buddy Jeff Yonker, who is a training partner of mine, kind of helping him to get everything, the meet day prepared for him, and just kind of help him to motivate him and kind of get him through the meet. We got a big team out there, Woodland Strength and Conditioning, so shout out to all you guys. And actually, everybody who lifted at the Tribute was an excellent meet, but I'm not going to do a recap for that. If you guys want to find out more about the Tribute, definitely check out USPA or maybe even check out Massonomics podcast. But so when I got home, my home AC had been out for about 2 days, and so it was literally in Houston weather. It's 89 degrees in my house, and so naturally was not going to be staying there. 3 kids and the wife. We booked it, got a hotel, and it took a few days for the AC to come back down to normal. It really was just kind of one night of being that hot, but basically, let's see, it was Sunday night, night before I was going to do my squats this week. We did, in fact, sleep in the house. Regretfully so. It was literally like 90 degrees in the house. We had fans, garage fans, and things like that blowing, just to try to save on the hotel because we didn't want to have to stay in another hotel. But it didn't work out too well. I was kind of basically sweating all night long and was trying to stay hydrated because naturally I have a workout the next day and I don't want to ruin my workout. So basically what I did is kind of drank water all throughout the night. Woke up every couple hours really just because I was hot. I can't sleep really good and sound when it's hot. If you guys know anything about me, I like my house at like 70 degrees. I like it dark, cold, and just quiet. And it was none of those things. Since the fans were blowing, it was hot, and it was horrible. But, a champion finds a way. Went into my squat day. I couldn't make it just based on the AC guys coming out and trying to repair things that morning. I could not get to my normal gym, so I did opt to go kind of on my own where I don't think, or I just definitely don't know that I have any spotters to kind of help me out. But being in a safety rack, I mean, it's not the same, but it's at least safe. I like a little bit of the motivation, especially for a big lift, definitely for a PR lift. If you guys looked at the thumbnail, obviously this week was definitely a PR on squat. And so in a perfect world, I would have been at the gym that I wanted to be at, and I wouldn't have had to deal with the AC issues, but sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But I did go in this week prepared to just kind of see how warm-ups felt. If anything felt off in a bad way, I was going to shut it down and just recoup my losses and, just cut squats short this week and maybe come in next week and hit it again, just to kind of make up the ground that I may have lost. But it did work out, obviously. It was not a perfect day. I didn't like how it felt. I still got through it, kind of cut some of the accessories short. You'll see here in just a minute, but came out on top. So I'm pretty happy with that. But other than that, AC's fixed, back into a cold house. It's been about a week or so since I've done that. And here we are about 3.5 weeks, or actually 3 weeks now, from Boss of Bosses 6. But if you guys haven't already and you're interested in following along on my training, please hit the subscribe button and definitely get notifications so you'll know when new videos are posted. But I'm going to go ahead and jump into this week's recap. It's about 15 or so minutes long, and then I'll wrap everything up with a few Q&As. And I've actually got a nice surprise for you guys. I was going to kind of show you that. But let's go right into the recap. So day 1, I did squats and lower. Normally, I will do my bench day, but I'm opting to do my heaviest lift of the week, or the most strenuous lift of the week, on Monday now because I'm fresh. Well, supposedly. Without the AC, I would have definitely been showing you my last couple warm-ups here. 405. It did not feel as fast as it looks. I had to sit there and review each of these lifts like I typically do in warm-ups. 495. See, I'm gritting my teeth there, but it's moving fine. I'm not real concerned about it. I was having a couple camera issues, so I think, let's see, this is my 585, and I think it was the next one that I had some issues with. But 585 is always a good, or actually 595, sorry. Good depth and a solid move. I was not unhappy with that at all. This is 740 pounds. And I have the safety pin set up there, as you can see. So if I have to bail on it for any reason, or if something goes wrong, I can just drop down and be pretty much out of harm's way. As you can see here, this is a big, big lift for me. I'm getting some big air and a little bit unsure of myself, I'm not going to lie. And that moved a lot faster than I thought it was. To be quite honest, I just didn't think that I was prepared at all for 740 today, even though it's only 10 pounds more than the 730 that just flew a couple weeks back. And I had a fairly light week last week on squats. It just didn't feel like it was going to be there with all the kind of set up for failure with my mindset and the stress of the AC and just sweating all night long. But it worked out, and I'm happy with that. It makes me really excited for next week. Some back down squats here. This is let's see, 490 pounds, 495 pounds here. And actually, I did skip out on a 825 static hold just because energy levels were definitely shot for the AC issue. Showing some of these speed squats here. And next thing I have is some 425 pause squats and then some leg curls. And basically that's where I shut it down for the day. I did cut things short just a little bit. I really didn't want to give myself much more than maybe an hour and a half or so in the gym. I mean, this gym has got fans and AC, but it's still hot. It's Houston weather's just brutal. And I'm not going to lie, I am the type of person that wants to work out in AC, not too cold, obviously, but I like to be comfortable when I work out. It has nothing to do with being hardcore or not. All right, so day 2 here is on a Wednesday. Last couple speed reps for warm-up, 405 there. This is at Dubs Barbell Club in Spring, Texas. Got Justin Dubs here lifting off for me. 495. Now I'm gritting my teeth, even on the 315 warm-up. I just don't feel it today. It's just, everything feels off. Speed doesn't feel right. I opted to go to 560 versus a 585 from a 495 jump. And that didn't move as fast as I would like. I am questioning, how the day is going to go. I'm questioning if I'm still kind of banged up a little bit, not only from squats, but just sweating all night on Monday or on Sunday night. That 605, as you see, I got a little sticking point there. The top set for the day called for 630, and I have, once again, not gonna lie, I was very concerned. I mean, this is a weight that I've hit dozens of times. I mean, this is something that is a warm up in the meet. It's my opener, but on a bad day, 595, 500, 495. I mean, whatever. It's heavy weight. So let's see how this looks. And that just technically was almost flawless in my eyes. I was very, very happy with that. It moved faster than the 605. So I'll call that a win. I'm hoping that that'll feel a lot better next week, which I'm sure it will. This is a static hold for 5 seconds with 700. The goal is always 700. Obviously, we need to play it smart and figure out what moves we need to make. But we're going to see here in the next few weeks, we're going to be moving up the weight a little bit. This is my speed bench with 530. This is obviously not as fast as I would like. So I'm definitely don't feel that I'm firing on all cylinders. You can see I'm a little slow to get up here. Everything just feels off. Did throw in some chain work here. This is 405 plus about 110 pounds of chain total. Just working on getting that sticking point out of there. Even though the energy level is low, I still need to hit my accessories. Still need to just get through what I can. Salvage not only what I need to get. I came in, 630 was the goal for today. I hit that. And here I am just working on the weak spots so that when we have 645 on the bar next week, we're not going to get stuck in the middle there. And of course, we want to be a lot higher than that as we go into the meet. So, I would just chalk this week up as kind of an off week, not a bad week by any means. Still got PR and still sitting at 630 on bench. I'm happy with that. It just, things didn't align properly or the way I would have liked early in the week, but I'm not just going to throw the week away because of it. Last thing there was some seal rows. That's 120-pound dumbbells, and that's followed up by some IYT raises. Great for the shoulder health. The seal rows was 4 sets of 9 reps, and the IYT raises here is 3 sets of 15. As you can see, I got that blue fan pointed right at me, and it's blowing me around because I like it cool. I can't stress that enough. I just work out a lot better. I recover better. I rest better. I mean, I'm sitting down in between sets for a few minutes at a time, so I'm definitely wanting to be comfortable. Moving on here, this is floor flies, paused floor flies. This is just, I believe 50 pounds is here what I opted for, 55 pounds. This is not necessarily going for super heavy weight today. Really just working on getting a good squeeze, working on the pecs. And one thing I might add is I did kind of a subconsciously move in my grip. If you go back and look at that 630, you'll notice it's just about half an inch closer than the 605 and even the previous warm-ups. One thing that I've been thinking about because of that is I did originally change my grip to a bit wider to get a little bit more stability. Now, what I'm starting to kind of think of, and I don't want to change anything major before a meet, but anything that is going to benefit me, I definitely want to look into, and that is my back is definitely bigger, my shoulders are stronger because of the wider grip that I've taken through this whole training cycle. Now, we will definitely see in the next couple of weeks here how that's going to really, equate to if I do move it in just slightly, which I did go out just wide enough to where if I come in slightly, it's still not going to affect too much of the stability. But my triceps have always been my kind of secret weapon, if you will, or the savior in my bench. And I've noticed that my sticking point disappears when those triceps engage. So we're going to kind of keep an eye on that and see, when I do get tired, I tend to want to get a little closer. And that's kind of my natural reaction to try to get through a lift. So there might be something there. We're going to stay tuned and see what happens. So here is my day 3, and I've combined a little bit of light squatting just to get the legs a little bit woken up. Really today is mostly going to be focused on deadlifts and back and shoulder, kind of upper body, but wanted to mix these 2 days up just because everything got shifted around with squats. So this is a light deadlift week, so I'm starting to alternate super heavy squat and just kind of moderately heavy deadlift, and then super heavy deadlift, moderately heavy squat going into the meet to conserve some energy. Next week will be my last heavy deadlift day, and I will have one more squat day the following week that's heavy. So this is double overhand for the first couple reps. Lost my grip, and so I went ahead and switched to double over. And you can tell, even just that, that's 500 there. Even on that third rep, I just look a little bit spent from the week. So I think definitely this is what kind of told me that I'm just kind of tired. And it could be a lot of things. Obviously, this is moving a lot better speed-wise, but definitely fatigue is something that we need to manage on a daily basis, no matter where we're at in our training, but especially going into meet prep. It's going to be more difficult the last few weeks, and that's kind of the point, is you get to the point to where fatigue needs to start stripping off, and you take your volume out, you stop doing as many sets, you start focusing mainly on the main movement, and you rest. So that's where we are at now. Body is definitely giving me some feedback. Now, it might be a little bit premature just because of this week's events, but it's definitely not going to be a bad thing to just start paying attention to fatigue. Last thing there was just holding that double over for some grip work. This is 255 pounds for some suitcase deadlifts. A little bit heavy. Went ahead and just finished out the set here, two by two of each hand. Then stripped it down and did 225. It was just a little bit too heavy for me to get the full lockout that is proper with a suitcase deadlift. You can see my shoulder just doesn't quite lock all the way out and stand all the way up. And a little bit of that is due to this bar. I'm not going to blame it on the bar, but that bar is definitely slippery. I didn't bring my own bar in today. This is just kind of the commercial gym bar that's been worn down for many, many years. It is a Texas deadlift or a Texas squat bar or a Texas bar, but you know, when you have people throwing them around, slamming them in the racks, and you know, not maintaining them, they get banged up, and that knurling kind of goes away. So it is a little slippery, but once again, I look at the positive. I can definitely work on my grip with a bar that has barely any knurling, and then when I get one that has some nice aggressive knurling, I am in a prime setup. So, and I like a really aggressive bar. Some people they don't like it because it tears their hands up, but if you build up your tolerance to it and you build up your calluses, it won't, as long as it's not slipping out of your hand. And that's the key, is to maintain that grip. All right, so normally I would do this first on my day 3. Obviously, this is mixed into everything else. Lat pull downs here. This is 200 pounds. So we've got, let's see, 4 sets of 12. Very, very easy. I'm warm for this, so this is nice. Normally I'm a little bit colder beginning of the workout. As you can see, I have a nice fun time getting into this overhead press machine. And got the full stack here, plus whatever that extra weight. I think it's 205 pounds. And this is the 3 quick sets of 15, just kind of basically just oiling up the shoulders a little bit. It's not heavy at all. Not working on boulder shoulders at the moment. Obviously, I have those, and it's not something that just because you have huge shoulders is not going to move a big bench. So we're definitely working on specificity and what's going to help with the bench. Throat pulls here with 60 pounds. That's 3 sets of 15. I did opt to skip out on the close grip decline bench press and the straight arm fully extended dumbbell pullovers for a couple reasons. Obviously, I just did bench, so I didn't want to do another bench day this close. I did work some triceps in here, obviously, the full stack there for a few reps. Threw on a 25 just to get some extra reps here, and that just wasn't enough weight. I really didn't feel like my triceps were being worked enough, and I was trying to get out of the gym. I didn't want to spend all day in there doing reps, so I went ahead and found me a 45-pound plate, popped it on there, got it secure. Pretty sure that this cable will hold, and if not, it'll probably just fly straight down. But try to get here a few reps just to knock out the week. And that'll do it for the weekly recap for 49. But yeah, other than the first beginning of the week, you know, just kind of being tired, you know, there's no other way to put it. Just, you know, it was stressful. Obviously, when your AC goes out and you're in 100-degree weather, it's humid. You got 3 kids, a wife. Yeah, it's a little stressful. And I have a pretty non-stressful life. That's one thing that could definitely switch things in a heartbeat. But we got it all taken care of. Took the better part of the week. Still able to get my workouts in. Had to make it priority, obviously, to take care of family stuff first, and then kind of fit in the workouts when they could fit in this week. So I shifted some things around, just made it happen. But I don't not do what I tell you guys that I think you should do. So take that as an example. You know, obviously had to kind of skip out a few sets here and there, make room for the rest of life that can come up, but it worked out. In fact, let's say that 740-pound squat wouldn't have gone off the way it needed to. Probably would not have taken it again. Let's say I was doing warm-ups with 495 and I just didn't feel it, or I felt like maybe I was just a little bit too dehydrated. I was planning on literally just stripping the bar down and going home and just calling it a day. Now, here's a couple reasons why. One is live to fight another day. It's not worth risking an injury if you know it's pretty much going to happen. Now, I didn't get to that point, luckily, so I was able to just continue, and it ended up being a good day. But I was very much concerned that it was going to go the other direction to where, let's say, 405 or 500 or whatever warm up, it wouldn't have happened. I would have walked out. Now, this week is 740. Next week, we have planned like 600 for 2 on squat, so it's a lighter squat day. We have 645 on bench, which will be a heavy bench day, and then 780 pounds on deadlift. So that's my heavy deadlift week. The following week, we won't be doing any more deadlifts after that, and we'll be going 750 on squat. So let's say the 740 wouldn't have happened. What the plan would be is to warm up and to plan for 745 and just kind of split those two in the middle. It's still a successful lift. It still puts me in a great position. It's still a PR. I mean, at the end of the day, it's a win-win. But there's just times when you kind of have to flex a little bit. And a lot of people, what they don't realize is that just because you don't hit whatever number you were trying to hit, let's say maybe not a missed lift, but let's say you're going into a meet and you're wanting to hit 315 on bench, and you only get, you're supposed to get like, 295 or 300 on your last heavy day, and something happens, whatever it may be, and you just don't either get to hit that weight or you don't hit it at all and you miss it. That does not equal a bad meet. That just means that you missed that one lift in that one particular day. It has no bearing on the meet. And that's a hard pill to swallow for some people, because a lot of it's ego, a lot of it is you question your ability, and of course hitting successful lifts leading up to a meet absolutely can help your confidence. But if confidence is all you're relying on, and sometimes that's a bad thing because you go into the meet with too much confidence and you're not being smart. So I guess just from being a seasoned lifter and a seasoned athlete, I've learned to know where my body's at. And yeah, I've had meets where I, for example, Boss of Bosses last year, I had squatted 700 high bar before the June meet where I only totaled 1984 and missed out on my 2100 first try. And then going into the Boss of Bosses meet prep, the last day, you can go back and check out that YouTube video, the recap. And I'm not sure what video that is. I'll see if I can look it up, put it down in the description for you guys, and I'll put the recap link for it. But I went in, I was supposed to do 685 as my last day, and I hit it, but it was a little high, and it felt really, really slow, like literally like molasses. And my confidence was just shot. I was like, my goodness, how am I going to squat over 700? Because that was the goal for the meet for squat. How am I going to do that if I could barely move 685? Well, you'd be surprised what happens in a matter of days, 10 days, or whatever amount of time you have for from your last day until your rest. You rest until the meet. And then, of course, all the adrenaline at the meet, you're pumped. And all that, people don't realize that can make a big difference. That can make 20, 30 pounds or even more, depending on the lift and depending on the person. You just got to have a whole nother kind of way of looking at things. And I don't know how to explain that, but sometimes it's trust. You have to trust your training, and your training doesn't have to be spot on the whole meet prep in order for you to have a successful meet. I've had meets where it's gone both ways. I've had a perfect meet prep and a crappy meet, what I would call a crappy meet because I didn't hit my goals. And I've had meet preps where I missed some lifts here and there, and all of a sudden I have PRs at the meet. Hence, Boss of Bosses last year where I totaled 2100. So just to say, put that out there, there's always going to be, you're always going to question yourself, and that's normal. You're going to have good days and bad days. It's what you do with them. And as long as you are steadily progressing towards the right direction, even if it takes you longer than somebody else, then keep at it. But I've got a few questions, or I got 2 questions this week that were submitted, and I'll go ahead and answer those. And let's see, the first one is from John Tex Snake from Instagram. And I'm going to sum it up here. It's a little bit lengthy, but he basically said, I got food poisoning last night. I'm not tired, basically his stomach was just in knots all night long. He didn't get a lot of sleep, but woke up and doesn't feel tired right now. And he's asking, is it okay to work out today? So here's my take on that. I've gotten food poisoning a few times in my life, and it is probably one of the most unenjoyable things that I've ever gone through. It's not fun at all, and you feel like death. Here's my take on anything of that matter, not just food poisoning. If you go into a workout and you're not 100%, you're automatically going to doubt yourself. So that right there, your confidence is shot. You're more than likely, if you were up all night with food poisoning, you probably were throwing up, crapping all over the place. You're probably dehydrated, even if you drank a lot of water. So I would go in, if you must, I would actually stay home myself. But if you must go in because you think it might make you feel better, I would just go in with a mindset of do what you can and don't push it. Because once again, my motto is live to fight another day. Just because you miss this one workout is not going to make all of your gains go away. It's not going to somehow magically roll into the next week where you lose strength. i.e., with that 740 squat, let's say I didn't get that, or I didn't even go in and do the squat. That is not going to affect me physically. If anything, I'm going to have rest, and that's actually going to be a good thing. It's not going to affect me physically. My strength is not going to disappear in a couple of days or a week because I missed a day. So a lot of guys are so worried about missing a day, or, for whatever reason it is, and they feel like that somehow is going to just take away and zap their strength right out of them. It just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen for me. I've never seen anybody that's actually happened with. The only thing it takes away from is if your mindset is that way, your confidence gets shot because you're expecting to kind of bounce, trampoline off that last workout, and somehow that last workout being successful kind of ensures the next one be successful. I just don't look at it like that. I have before, and I know exactly what that is, but you got to get out of that mindset, because you're going to have bad days, and that means if you have a bad day, you're going to have a spiral effect and a snowball effect, and you're not going to have a good day the next time. You have to be able to take one workout and separate it, compartmentalize it from the last workout and the future workouts. Just because I hit, this weight this week does not have any bearing on the weight that I can hit next week. It's a great confidence builder, but it has no actual bearing on the weight. So basically, I would say it is probably okay to work out, but I wouldn't advise it. I would definitely take it case by case. Anytime that I've ever been sick, I stay home, flat out. Especially if I'm like have a virus, I don't want to spread that. So even if I do feel like I need to go get a workout in, I'm not going to go and spread that around. I wouldn't want people coughing and choking. And if somebody had been throwing up all night, I wouldn't want them touching the weights and stuff like that. So just be courteous. I would honestly just stay home, rest, relax, live to fight another day. So next one is from YouTube, Ito. And he says, I struggle with my knees caving in or caving inward on squats. Do you have any tips? Absolutely. So I've suffered from that. I think everybody has at some point in time. And actually, I see some lifters still doing it. Caving in a little bit is not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes different form for different people. But if you have a really bad cave in, if your knees literally buckle inward when you're trying to squat, obviously you want to force your knees outward. You want to push them, actually physically push them outward when you're trying to come up. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take getting used to. Now, part of strengthening that is your adductors, and that's the muscles on the outside of your legs, your IT band kind of area. And so you can do adductors. There's a machine that you actually sit in the middle of it, and you push the weight out. I'll probably try to put a link down of me doing some of those from some of my past training cycles. You also can point your toes outward. So if you normally are squatting with your toes pointing straight forward, just point them outward slightly, which allows your knees to travel outward at an angle, which means it's harder for them to try to physically move in after you're trying to come up out of the squat. Those are a couple things. Obviously, there's a lot more that can be done. Those are just a couple things that can kind of help you along the way and just mentally think. I think a lot of people, they don't have a physical issue or a form issue necessarily. They just don't know how to stop their knees from caving in that by just pushing them out. But it isn't always as simple as that. It could also be that you're just imbalanced with the muscles and your adductors. versus your abductors, the inside. One is pulling and one's pushing, and so you have an imbalance there. But I hope that helps with your knees caving in. If you guys have questions for me, I don't claim to be an expert with everything. I don't claim to be the know-it-all of Mr. Nutrition or even lifting. But if I know the answer to the question, I will definitely help you out. If I don't know the answer, I will find out the answer and try to help you out. I like to serve as a resource, and I have plenty of people that have helped me out that I can reach out to. So if I'm the person that you want to come to with the question, I will try my best to get you an answer, and definitely, leave a comment below if you have a question. I get a lot of my comments, or a lot of my questions from the comments. But told you guys that I have a little bit of a surprise. Had a company reach out to me, HERBSTRONG. So I'm going to just get straight to the chase. So I have obviously some preconceived notions about hemp oils and CBD oils and things like that. I guess they've been around for a while now, and I've seen other guys using them, and I'm like, just kind of that's a fly-by-night thing. Who knows? And I just pay attention to what's working and what's not. And I haven't really heard anything necessarily over the top good or bad. And I also just haven't had a reason to really pursue it myself. I did have a company that sent, and I won't tell you any of the negative stuff because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus. But I had a company send me some maybe about 6 months ago or so, and I was able to try it out. It's a full spectrum hemp oil. I don't know if it's necessarily the best one or it's a good one necessarily, but I tried it for, I guess, the whole maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks worth was in the bottle. And couple things. I was not familiar with if it was, because I've never been interested in like marijuana or weed or anything like that. Honestly, could care less if you do or not. It's just not my thing. I've just never been a big drug, or not, I say drug, alcohol, well, I guess drug. I've never been a big drug or alcohol user because I've always been an athlete. I've always had to have a reason to be ready and recovered for my next workout. And I've just never gone into, I guess, the dark side, if you will, of anything. And I know I've got a pretty addictive personality, so I try to stay away from things that I don't know about, especially in the drug field. I've seen too many people, and obviously, marijuana is a controversial thing where a lot of people say it's just a plant, it's just this and that and the other. Of course, I can't go and say, hey, I smoke weed, and then go work with kids because I do a lot of volunteering and stuff. So even now, even if I wanted to try something, I can't do that. It's not advantageous to some of the goals that I have with outside of lifting. Now, I've heard a lot of lifters talk about, their experimentation with either marijuana or with CBD oil and saying that they get a lot of recovery from it. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I sleep pretty good at night. I recover fairly well, I think. And I'm like, I don't know if I really need anything to help me recover, but I'm a big advocate for recovery. So when I got this CBD oil, or I guess it wasn't CBD, it was a full spectrum hemp oil in the mail saying, hey, you want you to try this out and tell me what you think about it. And I said, I'll give you an honest review, sure. And I tried it out, and I didn't get anything out of it, honestly. I tried thinking maybe it was a placebo effect and I was, maybe getting something. I really got absolutely nothing out of it. And so I left that alone and just kind of, didn't think anything of it, didn't say anything to anybody, and just kind of figured, okay, well, it just doesn't work for me. Maybe it works for some people. Honestly thought that there's a lot of people that are kind of being paid to say that it works, false endorsement, and that goes on everywhere. I just figured, you know what, it's not for me. I won't worry about it. Now, fast forward, I guess 6 months or so, and I've had a couple of other companies reach out and mention, hey, we'd like to bring you on board, or we'd like to send you some stuff. And I just have kind of turned down all of them. I finally got HERBSTRONG reached out to me, and it was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. I didn't really have any preconceived notions about any particular company or one that was a favorite or not. But I do know that there's a lot of athletes, elite athletes in the powerlifting industry, obviously, and even strength, that have been using HERBSTRONG. So I was like, you know what? Sure, go ahead and send me some, and I'll try it out. I'll give you an honest review. So here we go. I got sent a nice box, and I'll tell you, their packaging is spot on. Now, of course, I'm the type of person, I honestly could care less about the packaging because the packaging could be spot on and the product be crap. But I said, you know what? I'll try it out and see what I think. Basically, I've been using it for just about 2 weeks now. I've kind of gone through the whole bottle. It's a 1,000 milligram. It's like 5 drops or something in the morning, 5 drops at night. And I honestly, now with the exception of the last couple nights when the AC went out, which was literally like this week, and I pretty much ran out of it. But the week before that, I was sleeping so soundly, and I do the same thing that I've always done. Nothing's been different. The only thing different, literally, is that I've been taking HERBSTRONG drops. So as an honest review, and I would never bullshit you guys, because I'm not gonna, tell you I use something and not use it. And for one, I'm not going to use something that doesn't work because it's not worth my time. Everything that I've used or everything that I use currently, and that I say that I use, and I will tell people that I use, is stuff that I use and I will continue to use. So my honest review of HERBSTRONG is that for me, this full spectrum hemp oil actually really does work. I haven't necessarily noticed a big difference in like pain relief. Now, I don't know if that's maybe just hasn't kicked in or not, but the sleep, the fact that I'm getting the full 8 hours that I normally get, but instead of getting, and I could tell the difference after I started taking it, is that I'm sound asleep. I'm literally out cold for the whole time. And when I wake up, I feel a lot more recovered. So I'm going to let you guys in on this next week, and just to let you know if I'm still thinking the same thing or not. But so far, this is amazing stuff. I don't know what the difference is. I'm sure, I don't know the science behind the company versus the other companies that are out there. But the other one that I tried was garbage. I'm not going to say who they were because I don't want to bash any companies. But maybe it's just the fact that I just didn't try the right ingredient or the right type of hemp oil, or maybe it was just a bunk product. But my initial review of HERBSTRONG is it's legit, and you definitely should try it out. Now, I will definitely come back next week, and I will show you guys. I've been using also, they have a cream that I was able to get, and I don't have any review on that yet. I will let you know what I think about that next week as well, because that'll be probably about a week or so since I've been using that once I do the review for next week. But definitely check out HERBSTRONG. I'll put a link down below if you guys want to wait until my next review to buy some or to use anything, then I don't blame you. But if you want to try some for yourself and you can spare the extra change right now, I'll put a link down in the description, and I've got a promo code as well to save you some money. But check it out. I was a skeptic, and right now I would say I'm probably about 90% sure that I'm no longer a skeptic. I'm not really one to buy a product and go after the placebo effect. I really want to know if it's actually working. And when it comes to my sleep and my recovery, I could not be more serious about it. And I know what good sleep is. So when I'm getting better sleep, I really can recognize that, and I'm getting it right now. So anyways, I'm going to wrap that little review up for HERBSTRONG. But definitely check them out. Do your own research on it. I am safe to say, or I feel confident that I am able to take this and still work in an industry that obviously does not allow drug use or anything like that, because it's not. It's hemp oil. It's not marijuana. It's not anything like that. It's a derivative of a plant that's so far away from the THC content that there's nothing to worry about. So here I am telling you the truth about what I think about HERBSTRONG, and check it out for yourself and see what you think. But that's going to be a wrap for this week's video. I'm sorry that I ramble a little bit, but I know I like to make sure you guys understand that I'm talking from the heart about my training and how I kind of do things and what I'm thinking. I think it's just a unique way of documenting my training as I'm going through the powerlifting journey. I don't know where it's going to lead me to. I really don't have any upper end goals for this meet. I have potential goals, what I think I could probably hit. Some kind of conservative stuff, and then some off the wall stuff. And right now I'm just not going to let any of that out, because I don't want to be held to that standard. I really just want to go into the meet and have some fun. But if I can hit what I've been hitting in the training days, I mean, it's going to be a great meet. It's just, I want to have some fun with it and see where it rides. But I am a little bit superstitious when it comes to things like that. So I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to do this on squat, do this on bench, do this on deadlift, because I feel like I'm just kind of shooting myself in the foot by doing that. I'd rather just go in with a, I don't know, and just kind of obviously trust the training and hope for the best, but really just go off of, trusting my process, trusting my coach, trusting everybody around me that's been supporting me. And I love Boss of Bosses. I love being out there in the atmosphere with the animal guys, Dan Green and all those guys. So I'm just looking forward to going out there and having fun and showcasing with some of the best lifters in the world. But as a wrap for this video, I want to definitely lead you guys over to my Instagram. If you guys aren't following me over there, check me out at SwimHack. And then, of course, if you aren't subscribed to this channel and you want to see some more of these recaps, definitely hit the subscribe button and definitely like it if you like this video, and share it with your friends. I think we're sitting at about 9,300 subscribers, which is amazing. Every day that I see that number kind of go up, it just amazes me, because just the other day I had like 300 subscribers, and even before that it was very little. And a lot of you guys are fairly new to the channel, but I know a lot of you guys are OGs that have been with me since the beginning. You follow me on Instagram. We talk all the time. So I definitely appreciate every single one of you, literally every single one of you guys. If you ever see me out in public, definitely come by and say hi. If you see me in training, you're not going to bother me. Come over and say hi. I've got plenty of time in between sets. I'll definitely talk to you and chat it up, and then go get my set in real quick and come back and finish up. But half my training is literally resting. So don't be afraid to come over and say hi. You won't be bugging me at all like that. But I'm going to wrap it up for week 49. Definitely tune in. Tomorrow is actually day 1 of week 50. So we've been at this for a while. But 645 is going to be on the bar for bench. So I'm pretty excited about that. That's going to lead me up. That'll be my second heaviest day until next time. We'll be hitting about 660 or so before the meet, maybe more. We'll see how things go. But tune in next week, and I will see you then. Peace.